Hi guys, and welcome to your final English lesson this week. This isn't necessarily going to be around me writing something today because I've done it for the past couple of days and I think you get the sort of gist about where we're trying to go with it. This is just trying to give you the idea of how to search and where to look for things to do with the history of the Great Barrier Reef. Your next paragraph is going to be doing with the discovery of the Great Barrier Reef. Before I go any further, we've now finally got a name for these two chaps. If I've got this right, I think this is Skippy and this is Bouncy. So welcome Skippy and welcome Bouncy. So as I said, this paragraph, you've done introduction, you've done marine life. Now we're going to be looking at the discovery of the Great Barrier Reef. What I'll show you then is some ideas about where to look and sort of map out some ideas, and then it's up to you then to go and do your research and then put it into a paragraph ready for next week. All right, so to start off with then, let's get rid of them. To start off with this book here. Now right at the start of when we closed the school down and I started posting things online, I started doing comprehension from this book, and the first chapter is Where is the Great Barrier Reef, and it's all about this fella here, Captain James Cook. Careful, not Captain Hook, Captain Cook. Now, if I zoom in just for this section of the video, you can then see these pages. You can pause it and read these pages as well because they're actually incredibly useful. So if I keep turning over this book, you can pause it and then you can read through it, and there's huge amounts of information on Captain James Cook and the discovery of the Great Barrier Reef. It turns out he actually discovered it by complete accident. He was looking for something different, which is what, whenever you look at great expeditions, quite a lot of that happens, don't they? They go looking for one thing and they discover something else. So that chapter there then is all about the discovery of it. That's just somewhere for you to start. But then you then go and try and do your own sort of thing. So we've got the book. Okay, we've got the book, and that's got about Captain James Cook in there. So I'm just going to write on here a bit of a mind map, a bit of ideas. Okay, in fact I'll zoom out for you so you can actually see more of my ideas. I'll get rid of that now. So Captain James Cook, you might want to do a bit of research on Captain James Cook and who he actually is. At the end of this video, I'll show you a quick website that I found with him on there as well. If you're going to search for it, search for his name and then put at the end, I'm going to put this bit in brackets but you don't need to, put Key Stage 2 at the end. You might want to use the word biography on there, and you might want to use the word endeavour with a capital N, what am I on about, capital E, endeavour, because that was the name of his ship when he discovered the Great Barrier Reef. You might want to put Great Barrier Reef in there as well. In fact, that makes quite a lot of sense, doesn't it? So you might want to put that in there as well. Okay, so search engine, search for those things to do with James Cook. That might start off your paragraph quite nicely, your section. That could be your first paragraph in this section. Another thing that you might want to look for is, if I put this in a different, because that could tell you just about James Cook, you see, but then we actually want to know about the Great Barrier Reef. So you might want to search for something called the discovery of, I'm just going to put GBR, but you obviously then write out Great Barrier Reef, discovery of the Great Barrier Reef, or you might want to, instead of the word discovery, you might want to look at the word history. Okay, that might then tell you, the history of it might then tell you of how it actually ended up developing. So not necessarily just finding it, but how it started being made. Okay, so that's another idea of something that you might want to go for. There are some videos on YouTube as well. There's quite a good one. Again, I'll show you again. So you might want to look for, if I put it in red over here, YouTube videos. Oh, it's a capital T, isn't it? Apologies. YouTube. You might want to look for, if you look for James Cook, it might work if you put on your searches, if you put on for kids. You don't have to do that at all. That's just because then it gives you videos that are a bit more exciting really when you look for kids and stuff. They try and jazz things up a bit. So yeah, you might want to look for James Cook. You might again want to look for Great Barrier Reef, and then the word history on there, or the word discovery. Okay, a great resource that you might want to use for both these things. Look at me, I'm rubbing things out as I go along. A great resource that you might want to use for both when you're doing any sort of searching is something called National Geographic. National Geographic. They are, well, it started out as like a bit of a magazine, really, that came out. But it's all to do with the discovery around the world. So if you look at you can go on their website and then search for the Great Barrier Reef, or you can then just put both of them together. Am I running out of space on there? You could put both of them together in a search engine, and you might end up with a fantastic website on there as well. Okay, finally, one website that I have looked at that you might want to go on, I'll do this in a completely different colour, which one have I not used? Purple, is one that's sky, as in science, sci-hi.org. I'll show you that website in a second. Again, that's a really good one for James Cook. Okay, so you can look at that. So there's lots of things that you can go on here and search for. What your subheading is going to be for this section, it could be the history of, I'll put it up here, it could be the history of, it could be the discovery of, you could even do your own section on James Cook. So you could do one on James Cook and then another section on the history as well. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. It's your project, but it's just something for you to search for. It's just something for you to start with. Sorry, I was going to say there. Okay, so good luck with it. I'm going to set you some homework too, because next week, as I said, this is a 2-week project. Next week we're going to be looking at the pollution and the sort of damage that's being done to the Great Barrier Reef over time, and we call that bleached coral. Not that type of bleach. Okay, so if you look for and search for over the weekend bleached coral or damage done by the Great Barrier Reef, not by the Great Barrier Reef, sorry, to the Great Barrier Reef, that's where we'll be starting next week as well. I'll just show you those websites now. So this is the Sky High one. So I just searched for James Cook Great Barrier Reef. You can also put in this Sky High one there, and then you'll get this website here. Okay, it looks a bit boring when you start off, but if you scroll down, you actually then get to the HMS Endeavour, and then how it was discovered by accident. So that section there on this website is incredibly useful for what you're going to be writing about. There's also this particular video as well. It's only a 1-minute long video, but it's actually jam-packed full of fantastic information. Again, I just searched for James Cook Great Barrier Reef Discover, and then you get this video. You can even just type in this video here, and it's by someone called 10 Tampa Bay. So you can just get search for that. Again, that's a 1-minute-long video, jam-packed full of information for you. Good luck with everything, and I'm looking forward to seeing your first draft, or the start of your first draft, ready for next week. See you later.